Okay. Well, this is Muddin, and I am Beags, and this is Muddin and Beags live, episode 24. Welcome, everyone. And Muddin has informed me that Santa Claus is on the way, and he is officially on the good list this year. I've been also informed that Haha is on the naughty list, but that is something I think he already knows. I hope everyone's doing fine. We got the wood stove going, a little bit chilly tonight, not too bad, and we're gonna do a little bit of muddins tonight. And Muddin, he wants to lay back down. He wants to take a nap. He's had a hard guard dog day. Last week I was talking about a gentleman in London that he's a stonemason that does repair work and inspection of repair work on the old world buildings. And I just wanted to share his channel. It's he's on Instagram, and his channel's called Stone Tapper, one word, Stone Tapper, like a masonry, like you're tapping the Stone Tapper on Instagram. And I'm going to share a little bit of something with you that he's done. And go check him out. I think it's informative, the kind of stuff he's showing, and we can learn a lot from it. So check this out.
And now we have the parts of the column. We have abacus, we have the capital, we then have the shaft, in this case fluted. So we come down, so we have the shaft coming down to the base, parts of the column. Marvellous. Named after teeth. And these are the little square bits that you see on those big jutty out things called cornices. And the dentils look like these teeth, all in a row. Dentals, there you go. Lovely. The egg means birth and the dart means death, very symbolic. Then we have these wonderful medallions, the coffers, and within the coffers more ornamentation and little bosses there of flowers. Yes, absolutely gorgeous piece of masonry. A little bit of decay going on, that's what I'm here for. You can see there's some loss of detail here. And this is what happens, out of mind, out of sight. So there we go. Beautiful backdrop for some surveying and showing some beautiful pieces of masonry. And here we have our colonnade. It runs underneath, huge pediment behind me. We'll get onto that another time. And of course we have our architrave, top band of the architrave, finished off with some nice ornamentation there. Here we have a rather plain frieze. And then we get onto the grand old cornice, and with our bed moulding here with dentils, got egg and dart.
All right, and again, that is Stone Tapper on Instagram, and you can learn a lot just from getting up close and having somebody that knows what they're talking about. It's like a teaching learning and teaching session where you can really get up close and personal with some of these ideas and learn the symbology and really get to see the details up close. So I think that's really cool. So I hope you go check that out, and I'll go ahead and get some pleasantries out of the way. We'll be right back. Okie dokie. So let me get rid of a few things here. And hope everybody's doing honky dory today. Welcome, Kathy Broughton and Jason Marshall, and of course, Haha. And Haha is on the naughty list this year, but that's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Coal will be distributed. Won't be a big deal. Just hold out your stocking, and it's really heavy, so it might bust the bottom. You might need to patch your stocking. So, anyways, gonna go mudding tonight. Going to do glass plate negatives. Just a little note. Gonna be doing a show on Christmas Day at some time. I haven't decided what time. It'll be later in the day. And I am very, very close to doing a full live stream on my Charlie Kirk EMS EMT research. And so that'll be coming up as soon as possible. I got all the data gone through. I've got to go through some literature and figure out the stuff that needs to be presented in the literature, and it has to do with laws and things like that I need to dig through. And at that point, I'll do this live stream, and I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at it. So far, I've come at it from two different directions. I had one style video where I went at it from kind of the me talking about it and trying to do it as quickly as possible, showing the key points. And then I did another version where it was a timeline, where it showed everything in a timeline that I had visually and with the videos and the pictures. But for this video, I'm going to present everything I have across the board. I'm going to be releasing the information of the name and contact information for the EMT and his license and everything, all across the board, so you can see who this EMT is and who the guy is that needs to be interviewed by someone. I am not a big enough channel to do a good investigation past this, because it's going to require somebody that can go boots on the ground in Utah and go and shake this guy's hand and get an in-person interview with him. And it needs to be done by somebody, that's got the ability to do that. I don't have the ability to do that. It needs to be somebody that can do that, and somebody that can has a much bigger voice. And I mean a big voice, because it has been, I have done everything I can to get this information to the public, and it is barely scratching the surface. I've hit some smaller news outlets, and it's gotten to some pretty big podcasters, but they have, for the most part, dropped the ball on this research. When they did cover it, they didn't cover it in a way that they just barely scratched the surface. They just kind of nicked at it. And so I'm going to throw everything, just throw the kitchen sink at it. And then I'm going to, unless some major developments come up, I'm going to walk away from it, because I just don't have any more effort I can put into it. I've given it my all. I've really tried to go deep, trying to get the information out, but you would not believe how hard it is to get your voice heard in a world of super chats and big name podcasters and millions of subscribers and chats with 30,000 people, and the chats are running 5 miles an hour, and it's impossible to get the word out. And I don't want to go mainstream, because they are, completely full of shit. So I want to find, a big podcaster that can hit a home run here. There's a lot of big names out there, but a lot of them they're just sitting at home collecting super chats, and I don't, I need more than that. I need somebody that's actually gonna, have a voice and get the story heard. Um, I think it's an important story, and that's why I put so much work into it. But that'll be coming soon. I don't know how soon, but soon, as soon as possible. Let's put it that way. So, anyways, welcome, Frankie. How you doing? Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all holidays and all that good, happy stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and get into doing some mudding. I got the Beagle sitting here on staff, and so he's on my lap, ready to go. Welcome, Masonic Q. And let's go ahead and get into our images tonight. We're going to start off at Alabama Medical College, Mobile, Alabama. And we got some little fellas over here. Got you, it's like an Oreo cookie going. They're so cute. They're just sitting there, just calm and proper. I don't know how they got them to sit still like that. That's funny. Look at these big these big slabs here of stone as the curb. That's interesting. Look how deep that dirt is. The mud of the road. There goes Fred going off down the road. Got some nice wrought iron fencing and gate here. This stuff was not cheap. Kind of Florida-ly looking. That can't, it can't be. It couldn't have been cheap to build that. Infinity, diamond symbology. That could also represent a Taurus field, possibly. That's an interesting thought. Oh, welcome, Odin's Raven. How you doing? Hope you all are gonna have a good Christmas this year. And not too many of you are gonna get cold. I know Haha's getting cold. I've already informed him. It's okay. It's okay if you're on the naughty list. I'm probably on the naughty list too. So me and Haha will be on the naughty list together. Got a Mudflood winter down here in case you need one of those. Got another few over here. Got Mudflood winters everywhere in case you need them. Y'all know how we do it here. Da da dee da 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 da. Nice arches. Look at that inset right there. Pretty cool. Arch winders. I'm not sure. Is that a shamrock? I don't know. It's kind of interesting looking. All right, got the Art Museum and School, Eden Park, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's got a very white background. I wonder if it's Miller skied. And Mudflood winter down there. That's an amazing stonework. Look at how big that arch is. These big doors here, good 12 feet. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, nice. Glass sky. Like, I guess that's like maybe it's every time I see one of these, I think of maybe like a garden inside or something to let light in for the plants and stuff. It'd be kind of cool. Wind catcher. I'm not sure if this is vanilla sky or not. It's I'm not seeing any telltale signs. There's another one. Finial. I don't think that it's vanilla sky. It's pretty, you know, you can achieve the same effect with perfectly blue sky. That's probably just a bad, something bad on the negative right there. I don't think that's anything. Part of the wind catcher right there. And a wind catcher was a system of tunnels that went through the buildings that moved air down. The air would come in one place, and then it would travel down through the building. And then they had the windows could open and allow the air. It was kind of like a vortex, and it would pull the air through, and then the hot air would go out. You know, a different wind catcher on the other end of the building usually, and then they could also take it down all the way into the ground and cool it underground with water, and then it was kind of like air conditioning. um, and somebody asked me last week, where did I first come across the wind catchers, and strangely enough it was a channel, Kylie I think or something. She does history, things like that, and I saw this one video by her. It was the only video I ever liked that she did. Everything else she did, I was like, "What is this?" Like it just didn't. It was that one video was good. I think she might have made a second video to wind catchers, but she showed wind catchers, and I'm like, "Well, that's very interesting." I started looking at that, and then I thought, "My goodness, that." I just put two and two together, and realized that that's what they were doing here. They were just doing it in a different form. I also saw it on buildings, old castles in Europe. I've shown them on the channel before, and you know, it was just part of the buildings. But when they went to do that stonework is phenomenal. When they went to do you know, the plumbing and the electrical and things like this, they needed ways to move the pipes up and down through the, you know, inside the building, and they utilized these old there's a porthole, that's part of the wind catcher. They would utilize these channels inside the building in order to run the pipes, and then they brought in the HVAC, things like that, and then they dropped the ceilings and they ran the, you know, the HVACs through the ceilings and things of that nature. But that, you know, we don't know about these systems because they didn't they used them early. Look at that wrought iron right there. They used them early, you know, um, and it was probably a common thing. A lot of you people remember old school buildings, and you had those transom windows above the door to the school rooms. Into a lot of times they had windows all the way across, and the windows would open on a they would tilt down, and then the windows to the outside would open. Those windows were part of the wind catcher system. If you know what I'm talking about. This is Battle House, Mobile, Alabama. Some more of those big curbs. This is Giuseppe. He's from Italy. He makes pizza. There's Fred. Fred's a horse build America. Fred brought all the brick in, all the materials in. Fred did it all. Undebatable. Look at these awnings. I mean, just roll down awnings. Now, that's a good looking awning right there. That really makes that building look much better, I think. There's Wilma right there. That's Fred's girlfriend. Mobile transfer. There's some clone of Freds. They had Freds everywhere. Very common. Not uncommon to see a Fred around, you know. Now, donkey, on the other hand, that's a little bit more difficult. That's more of a unicorn kind of thing. So if you say a donkey now, you've seen something. So keep an eye out for donkeys. That'll definitely be something we want to make note of. Got an arc light. Check out this wrought iron work. They always have the best wrought iron work. Reminds me of the squatting man right there. Diamond symbology. This stuff means something, y'all. This stuff had to be hard to make and expensive. That wrought iron, I would think. That column right there. Very nice. All right, we got Beanieville Hotel, Mobile, Alabama. All right, Benville, something like that. Y'all have a good time there. Of course, they got muddy streets. I mean, you know, that's we just can't seem to. We can build these just amazing structures, yet we just can't seem to figure out how to build a road. That would be impossible. I mean, the Romans did it, but we're a little bit more primitive than the Romans, it seems. Got Fred's booty over here. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. All right, y'all. Hold on. I'm not even going to show you that yet. Y'all ain't ready for that. Hmm. Mudflood Wanderers here. Look at those lights. Perte. There's something. I found something very strange in this image, and I looked at this image for quite a while trying to figure out what the hell I was looking at. And I honestly, I'm usually pretty good at figuring these things out. Got an arc light here, but I have to say this picture, this glass plate negative has got me stumped. Architectural urns. I found something in this glass plate negative that quite literally makes no sense to me, and I'm going to put it to you guys to see what you think. Got a Taurus field right there. There's a little something down here. Got a ladder lean for Douglas. Shout out UAP. That's just a really cool building. Got an unscrubbed cartouche. Looks like it, at the very least, it has a sash through it. Another one here. That's weird. That looks strangely like a computer code or something right there. Kind of weird. All right, y'all. Okay. There is something in this picture right here. Can anyone in the chat see anything weird? Is there anything that stands out to you that just doesn't look right to you? Because there is something here, and it's just very, very odd. I'll go ahead and get you a little closer. There's Haha. He's back. Haha wasn't letting everybody know that you were on that Santa let me know you were on the naughty list, and to be expecting a big old stocking full of coal. So what we got here is we got an anomaly here that I honestly cannot explain. And I'm going to try to explain this to y'all so y'all see it, at least the very least see what I see. Okay. Kathy's saying there's a lady that's been erased. Well, you know, Kathy, there's something that's been erased, but I'm not sure what it is. Now you got a guy standing back here, so let's take note of this guy right here. You can see his leg here and his other leg here, and he blends into the background there. I'm not worried about that guy. What I'm worried about is the guy that has been erased right here. And you can clearly see that there's a shoe and another shoe, and it almost looks like the guy is not got any pants on, which is odd. And you can see a leg here and a leg here, but what's really strange is that you don't see any kind of knee. So if I back up, to me it looks like, just from what I can tell, that the knee could possibly be right here and here. Now, if you go on up, and this is would be the top of the leg here, and maybe here. Well, first off, where's the rest of the man? It's like it disappears into this here. And what's weird is I can clearly see a window right here that's open. So I know that it's not right here, but then, like, where, like, okay, where is how tall is this person? Like, this does, something is not, I've put my brain to it, and my brain, it got absolutely fried trying to look at this, trying to figure out what the hell, like, is he bent over? If he's bent over, where is he in the image? Where did they clean the image? Has he not got the top of his body? Like, what it looks like, almost like it's cut right here, but then there's an anomaly kind of in this area that maybe they could have done. But my thing is, like, this, look, there's a boy here for scale, there's a horse here, that there's a lady here, and that lady is about, like, it is almost as tall as this whole thing here. I'm like, what in the hell am I looking at? I don't know. Is it a giant? Is it a, what is that? I'm truly asking. Like, I am completely lost, and it's not this guy behind, because his legs are here, so it can't be this guy. It's like he's been. It's almost like it goes this way. I mean, you look at the area here, it looks like it could have been manipulated with paint, maybe, but I'm not even seeing the absolute telltale signs of that. I don't know. This one is an absolute anomaly. And you could take this Beanieville Hotel, Mobile, Alabama, and put it into Library of Congress and search for it, and you can bring this up and find it yourself, and just look for the highest resolution TIFF and download it, and you can take your own look at it. You can do that with any of these images, and go, if you find an image that tickles your fancy. But there's something very, very strange about that right there. I don't have an answer for that, so maybe one of y'all will be on your A game. Okay, we got Burnett House and Chamber of Commerce, Cincinnati, Ohio. We got Boston Man right here. Got Cobblestone Road. It's not melted, unfortunately. Got a trap door. Looks like it's got pavement light in the door. It's like a chunk came off that building right there. Kind of weird. Trolley coming down the road. Got some overhead electric. Got an arc light there. Check out this observation deck up here at their antenna. Eagle represent the Phoenix. Could also be a Taurus finial. All these finials right here. There's a flat Earth asterisk right there. I guess that's a barber pole. Porthole. That's for the wind catcher. That would open up in a way of moving the air through the building. You need fresh air in buildings, you know. Haha, you behaving yourself there? Look how fine everybody's dressed. Even this kid's dolled up. He's totally got a look. Look at these kids. They're just I don't know. Even these kids had respect for themselves. Look at him awnings. That's some good looking awnage. Coin with a Q. Torus field. Very nice. Got cab stand at Madison Square in New York. These ladies are decked to the nines, ready to go. Man, they know they're in charge. Wow. Good for y'all. Got Fancy Fred here. These carriages are amazing. This must be the well-to-do area. Somebody must have knocked that light off. A little fire hydrant. Very nice. This is a casino and Central Avenue Bridge, Belle Isle Park, Detroit. Chicago sombrero. It's funny. Wow, look at that. A little bit. Those were fun to make. Well, that's Taurus fields. I would think that's what it looks like to me. Is Taurus fields. Wow, that would have been a lot of work to make that. Wow. Ah, man, can you imagine? Hello, little miss. Ladies in uniform. Ladies in uniform in training to be ladies in uniform. I'm watching that series called The Great, excuse me, not The Grand, I'm thinking of something else. The Great, about Catherine the Great. And it's pretty interesting. I don't, they talk shit like constantly, and there's a ton of cursing in it, which is completely unnecessary. I mean, they just don't, I thought I cursed a lot until I watched that, but Um, I don't really understand why I guess they're trying to make it for a younger audience, but I mean, I don't feel it's necessary. I just don't. Um, they could have definitely not done that. But the clothing and the architecture and the I don't know. It's just it's an interesting watch, but it's about Catherine the Great. Pretty interesting stuff. And it's not. It's like at the beginning. I think it says it's based on a true story at times. It's like, which is fine. It's just fun. It's just an interesting watch. Stars Ella Fanning. Just kind of cool. I like a good history show. Got City Green, New Haven. Oh, these boys know something. They know about them Mudflood winners right there. Yeah, it's interesting. This is how people used to be. They just used to sit around and chill when they, talk to each other. People don't talk to each other anymore. There's Fred back there doing what Fred does. People don't, sit down and just actually have conversations anymore. Everything's, snippets in between, checking your social media and watching, something on YouTube or, going to get your DoorDash. I don't know, man. Just people don't talk to people anymore. Check out this gazebo. This is interesting. We got the usually the gazebos have an underground feature. Here is one that's raised up without an underground feature, but it's raised off the ground, and it's that's kind of interesting. What's this rather large business in the middle? What was the necessity of putting such a large piece in the center? That's kind of interesting. It's interesting that it has a very crappy step going up to it too. I mean, you could break your neck going up and down that thing for sure. But this is a technology too that as they would play, the sound would rise and it would kind of. It's basically a tourist field. Imagine that this is the 0 point right here. Okay, the sound is generating from here. You know, and it rises around and hits the top of the ceiling and then reverberates out. It's like a tourist field, and it surrounds it spreads the sound around. It's like a speaker. It's like it amplifies it in an outward direction. Whereas if you're just playing here, it just kind of centers it around this. It's kind of hard to explain, but that is basically a speaker. I have a video. Uh, Something about it's like Slint plays a gig at Posada del Sol. It's a video on my channel. It's has around 1,000 views, so you could search by popular and then go down. Anyways, in that video, it shows a room like this, and it shows the technology behind that. This is an abandoned hotel, famous abandoned hotel in Mexico City. It's just really has a really fascinating history. But anyways, I suggest checking that video out, looking for the sound technology that was used. Very interesting stuff. These big columns here. All right, we got cleaning the streets in New York blizzard. Griffith. We got the L going across here. We got the snow stacked up. And they were bringing these horses, Freds, and they would scoop the snow onto the horses and then carry it away to outside the city, and they would dump it. And this was your old school snow removal services. I can't imagine. It had to have been a hard job. See how they tried to scrape that out a little bit or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Echo Bridge, Charles River, Newton, Massachusetts. Got the as above, so below going. Very pretty. Got brickwork up here. Ladies in uniform. $18.76. More ladies in uniform. Very pretty. We got entrance to Spring Grove Cemetery, Cincinnati, Ohio. We've got a cobblestone brick road that's unfortunately not melted. Still looking for that, Jen. We will let you know when we find it. To be sure. So then I have to eat crow. So we definitely want to find that. Little Mudflood winters down there. Check out these wrought iron gates. They're gnarly. How cool are those? Not sure what that little thing is right there. That's kind of weird. Fred's going in, taking a carriage in, it looks like, doing his job. Fred gets it done. Little Mudflood winter right there. Another one right there. You should need that. There's another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. And another one. Again. Again. I forget what movie that's from. No, and then, oh yeah. Dude, where's my car? Guys pull up the Chinese food restaurant, and they say, we want some chicken fried rice, and then, and some Coca-Colas, and then, and some egg rolls, and then, and some, do you want any wontons? Yeah, wontons. Yeah, and wontons. And then, and chopsticks, and then, and some sweet sauce, and then we want our food. And the dude's freaking out. That's so funny. That movie's crazy. Anyways, and then it's little things of humor, Beagles. 1863. Got a weird little head here, creeping me out. Check that out. How cool is that? A wind catcher. Got a Roman numeral clock with 4 1s. And Streets Tartaria was on there last week, and he was inquiring about the Roman numerals and what if it was, meant to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 slash, or 1I, 2I, 3I, 4I, then 5, then 5I. Yeah. And yes, that makes sense in the world we live in today, where where it's 4 1s. But what I'm telling you is that when I was little, when I was young, they taught us Roman numerals in school. It was a thing. I don't know if they still do it now, but in school they taught us Roman numerals, at least the basics. I think they definitely taught us 1 through 10, but I think they also taught us, increments of 20 and hundreds and thousands, things like that. But that was just something that they did. But I remember the first 10 for sure. But I know distinctly without a doubt because they taught it to us in school. I remember it. It was like part of the curriculum was that the 4 was IV. And everything was IV back then. It was like when you saw a clock, Roman numeral clock, it had IV. I know it did. It just it's the way it was. It was never um well, it was never four eyes. And it was never four eyes until somebody was talking about I heard somebody talking about Mandela effect and the four eyes and four, the Roman numerals, and I'm like, that's not right. So I started looking around, and now it's like very rare that you see a IV. So I know that changed. I know for a fact that changed because it's like, when you learn your ABCs, right? Your one, two, threes, it's like somebody telling you that the letter M is not, written the way we write an M, that you turn it to the right, like, and lay it on its side. And that's the letter M. That's what it'd be like. It'd be like now the letter M is cocked to the side, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's right." No, it's not right because it was always a normal letter M. It'd be that obvious to you. It's like C3PO's leg. He was always solid gold. Always, he was always solid gold. And when the people started talking about he was silver, had a silver leg, I'm like, well, that's not true. It's not true. I saw Star Wars 26 times in the theater, and when I was little, just in the theater, and I know he was gold. I was like, Star Wars crackhead. Star Wars was like pretty good dope. I had all the action figures, and I mean it was like that was like I was damn the Star Trek and Star Wars all the way. I knew Star Wars. Look at this Etherfinio up here. I mean, it's just what you know, and I know Fruit of the Loom had a damn cornucopia. I know it did. I remember it. It's not false memory. That is. I know for a fact, 100% that it had a damn cornucopia in it. I know Jaws had a silver grill, and so did his girlfriend. There's certain things that have changed. I'm sorry, it is. Now, can that be proven? I don't think you can prove it. I don't think you can prove it. Federal Building, Cincinnati, Ohio. In case you need that. Federal Building. Got Ghost Man here. Oh, sorry. And fun. Little fun. She's pretty cool looking. Boy's just chilling. There's Fred right there. There's Clone of Fred. Old Clone of Fred's. Arc light. That might be gaslight. Those are gaslights. Sorry. Those things could be bright too. If you ever been camping and used those old Coleman lights, they were amazing how bright they got. At the finial and at the cresting. Finial and cresting at their antenna. At their finials and cresting. Portholes. We're at the finial, cresting, and antenna. There's an arc light right there. Looks like they just got married. Ooh, Hoorah. SSS for the blood. Huh. Federal Building, Nashville, Tennessee. Got cobblestone brick road. Not melted. Fred back here. Clone of Fred's. Slap this across on this one. Look at that window. Pretty. Got the finial in the shape of a flat earth asterisk. In case you need that. You know where you're at. Slap across on that one. Anytime you see a cross, it's an addition. That was a thing they came up with later, for sure. That's a whole nother different rabbit hole. Figure that one out. Look at that. That's weird. Huh. Figure out what that is right there. Tell if they've done something there or not. I can't. Hard to say. See something weird right there, but I don't know what it is. That's odd. I'd pass on that one, I guess. And some good looking awnings there. Torus fields. Everything's Tauruses. They would have been well aware how the Torus field looked. Check out these ether finials and cresting. Very nice. Part of the wind catcher there. This would be wind catcher. Clock, I can't tell the numbers though. Ether finial. Huge arch, Vesica Pisces. There's probably something around the base of that building that they're trying to get this fence that they're trying to keep you out of it. That's probably what that is. I mean, we can build these wonderful, beautiful buildings, but we sure cannot figure out how to put it in a damn phone pole straight. That's just an impossibility. At least we got a road on that one. First Memorial Chapel, Fisk University, Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, GT. How you doing? Got a cute little house here. We definitely built this fence, no doubt. We were definitely capable of building that. Good quality. Mr. Contractor probably got a hold of that one. Got that job. Interesting cross. Looks like it would have been added later. Diamond symbology. Squatting man, maybe, possibly. Also, could be a representing a Taurus field there. Vesica Pisces. Very interesting. Looks like a Templar cross. Porthole here and here. Those would have opened up. As a finial, that almost looks like a Templar cross. Mudflood window down there in case you need one of them. I like the windows on this house. They're pretty cool. Got Fred back here having a day off, it looks like. Got free ice in New York City. In case you need free ice, why not? Who doesn't need free ice? Got little cuties. Go and get the free ice. Diamond symbology. Boater hat. Bowler hat. Penis cap boss man. We got a trapdoor to the underground here and here. And most people would say, oh, that's just a cellar door. It's not just a cellar door. The cellar door is a door, let's say, on a house that looks like this. Fine, I'll call that a cellar door. When this is a trap door to an underground, is when you open this up and it takes you to an entire underground level of, the basement of a building. That's a different thing. It's not just a cellar you're going into. You're accessing the entire underground of the building. So that's the difference. Look at that awning. Good looking awning. Who doesn't love an awning? I really think an awning is a good thing to take a look at. That's some pretty ironwork there. Those are cool. Got the Gallery of the Rotunda, Library of Congress. This is an amazing room here. Absolutely incredible architectural pieces in here. What are you having you got a fur problem that you're about to get wet? I mean, what's going on down there? Look at the details on this thing. Good grief. You better hold on. You see, we're doing a show right here, Mr. Squealy McSquealerson. Merry Christmas, Morgan. I see you there. Yeah, I hear you. Just incredible designs. Just a minute, buddy. Here, you want a biscuit? No, you ain't getting a biscuit now. We'll give you a biscuit when you get there. These could be those Acantha sleeves. Look at that. Hold on, baby. We'll go finish this one and we'll take us a little patrol break. You can go visit the Tinkle Tower. Do you mind? How do you do that high-pitched squeal is what I want to know. Like, where does that come from? Yeah, that one. That really annoying one. Check out this map right here. I wonder what that map looks like. Kind of looks flat earthy, doesn't it? I could be wrong. I don't know. Oh, I learned this week that this, and I'm looking into it, but this is known as a double torus. And I'm trying to figure out why they call it double torus. Is it because of this and this, or is it because of this and this? I'm trying to figure that out because to me it looks like triple, but I'm not really sure why they call it double torus, which I think is very interesting because I believe that we live in a double torus field holographic projection of a flat Earth in the center of these two toruses. So, hush, honey, now you're getting on my nerves. Got incandescent knob and tube wiring there. Just give me a few minutes. You ain't gonna piss your fur that quick. This dog, as soon as he gets a tinkle of it, I gotta go tinkle, he starts whining and complaining. Just very intricate. Look at the marble there. Good grief. Look at that. Purdy. It'd be interesting to know what that map is. I don't know. Can't really get a gander at it. This picture doesn't even do this room justice, because this is just like this isn't even a quarter of this room. Like, this is like a tenth of the room or something. It's like such a small portion of this room, and you're just getting a glimpse of it, which is phenomenal. Okay, we're going to take us a little technical tower break, and I'll go catch us pit boo, and we will be right back. So everybody, hang out, enjoy the chat, get you something to drink, and we'll be back very shortly. Okay, everybody. Ooh, sorry, folks. Out taking a patrol with the dog, and the fire department and rescue squad, all the shit showed up next door. I had to go see what was going on. Something ain't right, like some kind of medical emergency. Anyways, sorry, had half the neighborhood calling me, and I don't know anything. So, we back. Not sure what's going on, but I'll find out soon enough. Okay. I don't know. There's an elderly lady that lives there. She's about 85 or something. Anyways, and her husband, she's older than he is, but I don't know. They don't have any health problems that I know of, but these things can come at any time. So, anyways, I will find out shortly what's going on. But sorry, that took a little longer than expected. I was standing out there and I heard this siren. And it kept getting closer and closer and closer. So I just stood there and waited to see where it was going to stop, because you just never know. And sure enough, it stopped right next door to me. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, so when I was trying being nosy. But anyways, trying not to get into there. Okie dokie. All right. Let me get my head back in the game here. Where are we? Adds to stage. Okay, remove. There we go. And then get my doodads right. And go to the next picture. Okay. Got haying on the meadows, Northfield, Massachusetts. Some big fellows here. Boy, that's a massive suckers. I know they could pull some weight. Look at all that hay. Now that is a job. You want to know what a job is? Messing with hay. Those boys are strong by the end of the summer, that's for sure. That's hard work. That's what they call man work. I think that's something our society has gotten away from, is we need men have a place in our world, and women have a place in our world, and we all serve a special place in this world. And I think we've forgotten some of our places, and we need to get back to that, because I'm sorry, but no offense, ladies, but if I'm gonna be carried out of a 10-story burning building, I want it to be by 350-pound 6-foot tall man named Bruce with a big mustache. It's very strong, and it's not gonna falter under my big ass weight. That's just me. Anyways, we got Central Park, New York. This is not as a higher, for some reason this was the highest resolution of this image they had, but I just thought it was cool. Reminded me of the holidays and snow and just better times. Got a little doggy here. This is the reindeer. Got a little miss over here, ladies in uniform. Just really reminds you of better times, I think. In Chinatown, New York. Got my boater hat there. I wonder if that's a drain for water right there going down to the underground. These are interesting right here. I think that this haircut has something to do with the cover up of the Mudflood. Now, this is an opinion, and opinions are like assholes, and everybody's got one. This is mine. I think that if you know the history of this hair style, then you know that if they grew their hair out or cut this ponytail off, they're not off. If they cut this off, they were not allowed to go back to China. So they would be sent over here, I think, as indentured servants. And they were not allowed to bring their wives or their children, their families. And so they were over here, and they could not return to China if they did not have their. This is by law of the Emperor of Japan, I believe, that it was a law that you could not come back without this. Not like it was like no entry. You're not coming back. You. It's a done deal. And so it was a mark on these men. They didn't speak English. They kept to their little Chinatowns. I think that their job was to. I don't think they built the railroads. I think their job was to fix up and undig the buildings and make them usable. I think the Irish served the same purpose. Um, and of course the slaves, the indentured servant slaves, the original indentured servant slaves. Now later they were used for farming, um, things like that. But the original indentured servants that were basically prisoners of war from when we founded America, we came over here and stole it. Um, those black men and women that were here were put into indentured servitude, and they worked off their indentured servitude and then became freed men. So if you want to go down that rabbit hole, go check out Dane Calloway, and he goes deep diving into that rabbit hole, and it will help you understand that. Just you have to get past the militant black man thing. He's got that going on, but I get it. There are people have been kicked down for a long time, and they're pissed off about it. I get it. They really have gotten the short end of the stick, and they're I don't know how we correct that, because they're they have self-imposed poverty at this point. They've self-segregated in many cases, and it's frustrating because these people deserve better. I'm talking about the black culture, if you want to call it that, whatever you want to call it. They're not African Americans. That's bullshit. Um, but anyways, this is Eden Park, Cincinnati, Ohio. Beagle, you want a biscuit? How's everybody doing in the chat over here? What y'all doing? Anything interesting? Probably something more interesting than I'm over here doing, I imagine. Y'all ready for Christmas? Y'all got your presents wrapped? Beagle's on the Beagle's on the good list this year. I've been informed. Had to slip Santa a 20 or two, but that's that. Anyways, got some big buildings back here in the background. It's got this tower right here. How cool! Big old ether antenna up there. Stuck a flag on that one. I mean, that's straight out of Europe right there. If I told you if I erased that flag out of the picture and I asked you where this was, you'd say Europe. You'd never say America. No way. I wouldn't. I mean, probably smarter than I am, but I wouldn't say that. Interior of Pottery, Biloxi, Mississippi. Just a little guy's got him a pottery thing going here. Check out this stove here. Pretty cool. Some wild looking pottery. Conch shell. I tell you, living out here in the country, you see some weird shit out here. I've seen all kinds of weird shit. one night I heard a bunch of law running, and I went outside to see what the hell they're running at, and they were all over the neighborhood, and they were looking all around in the woods area, and they were looking for somebody, and I what in the world? And kind of found out they were looking for this guy that used to live down the road. He was a mess. He was into all kinds of drugs and stuff, and he was always getting in all kinds of trouble. And he was running from them, and got away from him, and got up in a tree, and they couldn't find him because he was up in a tree. And when he left, he got down. It was funny, but this is kind of weird. This guy right here, like, just don't look. That beard looks like painted on. It doesn't look real to me. And it looks like there was some painting done here too. So it could be photo manipulated. Hard to tell, but just this doesn't look real, in my opinion. I don't know. He's doing some wild looking pottery though. He's hitting them taking some of them mushrooms. I thought that was funny. I was watching that movie, that series, The Great, about Catherine the Great, and they were asking the Archbishop for a recommendation on who the new, I guess, the new bishop should be, or head of the church or whatever. And they were Peter, uh, the King Peter. I don't know what they call it. Not Peter the Great, but his son. He was like had to choose, and he couldn't choose, so he had the Archbishop. He's like, you need to go get me a sign from God, and to tell me what to do. And so the guy walking in the woods and looks to see if anybody's around. Ain't nobody around, so he takes a whole handful of mushrooms and eats them. That's how he got his. That's how he got his vision. I was like, that is probably more accurate than you realize. Oh, Kesselman Hall, Vanderbilt University, Nashville, Tennessee. Oh my goodness, going down to Tennessee. What does Tennessee need with a building like this? Come on. I used to live in Tennessee for a while, and this is, yeah, come on. Nothing against Tennesseans. It's just, seriously, this is how y'all roll in 1900? Come on. These stairs look all not right. Every bit of them. Now, hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, now they're saying that they're at a different house. I don't know what's going on out there. Looked like they're at one house. Now they're saying they're at another house. I have no idea. That's very strange. Okay. Sorry, folks. I got a ether antenna here. Oh, I better hit this. Is gonna be. Hold on a second. Let me. I don't know what's going on out there. You never know out here. I've seen some crazy damn shit out here. Ether finial. I had a guy knock on my door one night, and I went to the door and opened up the door, and I had a flashlight in my hand, and I shine it up, and it's this guy from down the road, and he says, "Can you call the ambulance to me? My sister done stabbed me to death and left me for dead." And I'm like, "What?" And I shined the light on him, and the dude was, I guess him and his sister had gotten in a fight, and she hit him with a cast iron pan he hit her. Excuse me, he hit her with a cast iron pan in the head, and so she stabbed him in the back with a knife, and he was sitting there bleeding out. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, well, first off, get off my property and take your ass over there, and I will call you an ambulance. I called the ambulance. I sure won't go ahead and die out on my damn lawn. You can die on your own time. Lafayette and Franklin Banks, Masonic Temple, Cincinnati, Ohio. I've seen some crazy shit out here. My God. I keep going. Trust me. Hush now. We ain't got time for it tonight. We got busy. We're busy. You see us busy. Go play with one of them 1,000 billion jillion toys that you got. They're always in my way and I'm tripping over. Go find one of those. Just that would be great. Thank you. Okay. There's Fred, Trolley, Arclight. Get your neckwear. Clone of Fred. More Freds. Sell his cast iron railing here. That's hiding, underground features right there. That's not there for decoration. I mean, it's decoration, but it ain't just there for decoration. Tartarian lion. That's a hitching post right there. That's what you tie your horse to. Got a Mudflood drop in right there. Check out the stairs. There's one of these bricked up arches. There's another one. But see, this one is open. So what I'm thinking is that all of these were originally open. See, there's another one that's bricked in. I think all of these were bricked in, were windows at one time. And they've already blocked them up because whatever they wanted to do with the building was different than, you can see a Mudflood drop in right there. You can see the arched doorway right there. We got cymatic window right there. That's a pretty building right there. A lot going on. Little Music in New York. Guess they got him a music box. It's kind of like a busking is the idea. He's busking. You know what that means? This would be possibly hiding something behind there in the ground. You see where they've marked it out here where they've covered it. I don't think that's right. I think they've looks like they've cut into the. I don't know. It could be the top of the building. I don't know. That's hard to say. That's odd right there. It's an anomaly. I'm not really sure exactly, so I'll refrain from giving an opinion. That dude needs something on his head, like some scabies medicine or something. I don't know. Marblehead Harbor, Massachusetts. Got some little boats here hanging out, doing their little boaty thing. Got some salesy ships, salesy boats. Very nice. I think boats are cool. Ships, boats, whatever. I don't want to be on them. No, not really a big fan of the sea. Been there once. That was fun. I don't want to go back. I don't know. We had 26-foot waves and for 2 days straight. And I'm gonna pass. I don't want to experience that again. I don't have sea legs. Me no do no see. I did not enjoy that part. I would have given anything I could have to get off that boat for those first 2 days. It was on a cruise, and The rest of the cruise was nice because then they got us out of that hard water. But oh man, again, 26-foot waves is not, and that's probably not nearly as bad as it can get. I don't want to get it worse. And I was in a big old ship, and it was just sending that damn ship up and then sending that ship down and sending that ship up and then sending that ship down. For 2 days straight. Nope. 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 Oh, this is Michigan Central Station in what the hell? Y'all pronounce that Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti. What the hell? Who cares? Who can pronounce shit? What that place? I don't even know what the hell. How you pronounce that? I have no wordsmith. Not trying to be. Do. Look at knob and tube wiring right there. Talk about sketchy. Jeez. Diamond symbology. Look at that. Knob and tube wiring. Ether finials. Very nice. Finial. Maybe an arc light. Hard to tell. There's the name of that place. Yep. I don't want to go anywhere. If I can't pronounce it, I don't need to go there. It'll pass. Michigan State Normal College. Oh shit, it's that same place. Wherever this stupid name of the place. Hold on. There it is. This place. Ypsilanti. Who that? Wait, what does that mean? That name it something normal. Texas. That's normal. Something normal. Just anything normal. Mudflood windows. Arches on them. Gas lights. Ooh. Porthole. At their cresting there. Finial. At their finial right there. Tourist fields. Northfield Seminary. East Northfield, Massachusetts. One night I heard a big crash outside, and I walked outside, and two drunks were coming down the road in opposite directions, and one of them turned around in the driveway next door to me, and they were in the middle of the road backing out as the other drunk comes down the road and slams into them. So I walked out there to see what was going on. They were both hanging out there, and I immediately realized they were drunk. And I said, told them not to move, called 911. And as the ambulance came in and the rescue squad came in, I made sure they stayed in the car so they didn't move. But they were tore the hell up. Don't drink and drive, folks. It can end so quickly. Northfield Seminary, East Northfield, Massachusetts. Mudflood winters all across. Check out this turret. Wind catcher. Mudflood winters. Wind catcher. Glass plate got scraped off there. Portholes, wind catchers. Portholes and wind catchers there. Mudflood winters. Mudflood winters. Got wind catcher up there. Mudflood winters down here. Very interesting. Old Fort Henry, Pass Christian, Mississippi. Pass Christian. So that's a place. Pass Christian. Okay. We got a cannon that doesn't fire balls in the middle of the woods for some reason. Not sure what's going on here. These cannons, I swear I need to figure out what these are. I just don't know. This dude definitely doesn't know how to fire a cannon. He has found him a cannon. No idea. What are these people? It's like they've just stumbled upon this thing. Oh, let's take a picture of this. Why not? It's here. Peanut stand, West 42nd Street, New York. Got cobblestone brick road. That's well. Let's check for meltage. Let's check real good. Yeah, it's just a normal, everyday, ordinary brick. Sorry, Jen. Bum bum bum. I tell you one thing I cannot stand is boiled peanuts. I can't stand the smell of the damn things. Whoever invented the boiled peanut needs to be literally like strung up by something private, because it is the worst. Like you go in, like a lot of times you go in like a gas station or convenience store, and they have these damn things in there, and a lot of people like them, which means there's a lot of insane people in the world. And it stinks. They stink to high heaven. They just absolutely, they're horrible things. If you know what I'm talking about, they're absolutely horrible. Now roasted peanuts, they're awesome. They're delicious. Who doesn't like roasted peanuts? But boiled peanuts, nope, can't have it. Got Mudflood drop in here. Mudflood Wanders down there. Yes, no bueno. No good on that. Got Fred's pulling the trolley here. The concept to me of building a trolley system that is based off horses pulling the trolleys, to me, it makes zero sense. Absolute zero sense. It is so blatantly obvious that it makes no sense to me. You don't have bull peanuts in Cali? Well, you should be thankful for that, because they're horrible. Absolutely horrible things. Ugh, I don't even know how to describe them. They're horrible. They smell like warmed up ass or something. They're horrible. Uh, Pequot Club, I butchered that, I'm sure. Morris Cove, New Haven, Connecticut. An old lawnmower. That's how they did it back then. Oh wow, we got a photo manipulation here. There's a person right here. Almost looks like a woman with a baby carriage, maybe. I think that might be a baby carriage. Hard to tell. There's definitely a person there, but look how well they hid that. If I get back here and you printed that image, you would never see that. There's no way. No way you would see that. Zero chance. If you printed that and then the resolution dropped, you would not see that. How cool is that? So you got official photo manipulation there. I love those. That'll be going in the collection. Diamond symbology, pretty awnings. Da, 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 da. And we got Scroll and Key Fraternity House, Yale College. You got a arch on your gutter. Got some wrought iron work there. Fleur de lis right there. Mudflood winders. Got a lot of ivy. I know that a lot of you, like when you see ivy, you start to, it gives you thinking about how old it is. I've had a lot of people comment on ivy over the years. It's got a very Moorish look to me. Vescopiscus, very Moorish. Torsfield, very cool. Sheffield Scientific School, Yale College. A mudflood winter down here. Got a mudflood drop in right here. See the stairs going down. Mudflood winter here and here. Got some mudflood winters there with mudflood drop in. Beautiful wrought iron work. Another mudflood winter there and there. Gas lamp. A lot of stuff sitting out there for some reason. Gas lamp. Wind catcher. Dog toothing. Diamond symbology. More dog toothing. Scrub cartouche. Porthole. These have already been bricked in, which is interesting. I imagine they had windows in them at one time. Be my guess. All right. Got Sigma Phi House in Arbor, Michigan. That lock in, boom. Got a mudflood winter down here. Another one right here. It's interesting, this feature below the porch. The mudflood winter here. Interesting brickwork there. Overlapping Vesica Pisces. Pine cone represent the pineal gland. Torsfield. Diamond symbology. Arches. It's important to note the arches because the arches went out of fashion. They weren't fashionable, so they wanted to go to the more, squared off look, and so they got away from that, and so that helps us identify. Although a lot of times they would switch out the front. Streets Tartary has a good video where he was on the outside of the building. It had square windows, and on the inside of the building, because he went inside the building and interviewed the residents, and on the inside of the building the windows were still arched, so they redid the outside of the facade and put square windows in and left the old arches in the windows. So a lot of times we don't know what's still here. This is St. Paul's Church, Richmond, Virginia, in case you want to know, in case you care. Let you know, there's Fred doing what Fred does. A lot of this wrought iron fencing. Gaslight. Look at that angle right there. Look at that. Man, talk about going sledding. Horse. Best sledding I ever did was I don't remember how old I was, but I was pretty young, maybe 9 or 10 ish. Hard to remember. And we went out to this uh, to visit some friends out in the country that had they had this big hill back there. They were going to go sledding, and we were going to go. We brought our sleds and everything. But then this guy from the neighborhood, I don't know who he was. He's just this dude. They knew him, but I didn't know. You know, the people who lived there knew him, but I didn't know who he was. But this was just dude. He was nice, good old boy. Anyways, he had this old Cadillac hood, and he tied a rope. He turned it upside down, tied a rope to either side of the front of it, and then piled about 10 of us kids on that hood and pushed us down that hill. And I thought we were going to go, I thought we were going approximately 153 miles an hour down that hill. I thought I was going to die. It was so fast, but it was so awesome. And we kept making him do it again and again. The guy was so tired of us by the end of the day. It was like one of those things like, I'm going to do this for the kids. And by the end of the day, he's like, I'm an idiot because these kids wore me out because he'd have to keep dragging the hood all the way back up the hill. We had a ball. Man, talk about a sled. That thing. Torsfield. Wow, that was a good time. Yeah, we used to make ice snowballs where you take make a snowball, put them in the freezer, and get them turn them to ice. So you had an ice ball, and then you wrap that in snow so when you throw it, that it doesn't look like you're not the one that threw the ice ball because you don't want to get caught throwing the ice ball. Then you get in trouble. Good times. There were no rules back then. Like I said, we were feral. Torsfield, wind catcher, absolutely feral. Look at the top of that right there. Does that even look like it is real? Like something don't look right there. Like, is that steeple that pointy that it's disappears into the ether? I mean, really? Come on. Look at that. Look at those columns. Unreal. This is interesting right here. Something's going bad there. That's interesting. State capital, Nashville, Tennessee. Well, I hope everything's going all right next door. I don't know. I ain't getting no details. Seems like I still hear trucks out there. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. I try to stay out of stuff unless it's I've seen too much shit out here. I don't need to see no more. Uh, it's interesting. They've taken the lights out of these lamps here, which is odd. I wonder why they did that. Beautiful wrought iron gate, diamond symbology. Interesting. They have a gate and then another gate, a gate to the gate, in case you need to double secure it or something. Tourist fields. Tourist fields up here. Wow, look at that ether finial. Ether antenna. Wind catcher. The gymnasium, Yale College. That's nice. Look at that wrought iron. Now, this wrought iron, y'all, most of it went away during the wars. They collected it, you know, as scrap iron for the war effort. And people just went out and cut these things down and, you know, acting like they were trying to help out. You know, they were going to send the, you know, metal to make bombs, and thought they were doing their part. Really, what they were doing was they were doing their part to get rid of the old world. So when you see these railings, you know, this is important, y'all, because it's not, most of the time they got rid of them. Sometimes they did save them. They did save some, but the majority of them got taken away. So much of it was taken away. Torch fields. And see, look at these big arches here, and they're bricked in. You know, I have to wonder if that was done later, because there's no reason that couldn't have been a window. Flat Earth asterisks. It's like a scrubbed cartouche there and there. Check out these doors. Venetian wave, or part of a torus field energy. The way the energy flows. Cartouche. Can't tell if it's scrubbed or not. I love these ether lights. Those are so cool. I'd love to have 2 of those. I tried to talk my boss into buying some of those. They were only $4,000 a piece. He would not budge. I called him a cheap bastard. He would still not budge. He doesn't like, my boss doesn't get like stuff like this. He doesn't get it. He just looks at it like, oh, it's just old. Like, he doesn't get the historical significance behind it. So he bought some crappy modern ones, which I immediately told him looked gay. Just to make him feel bad. I thought my idea was better. Look at this mural. Like, this is crazy. Canthus leaves. Flat Earth asterisks. Something written in that cartouche there. It's weird. I can just barely hear things going on outside. What the hell's going on? I hope everybody's all right. I've learned out here shit happens. I've seen some shit out here. I've seen a lot of shit living in cities, but I tell you what, I've seen some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen out in the country. Just people out in the country, just they seem to find and create trouble for themselves. It's really pretty interesting. I remember there was this boy down the road one time, and I saw him walking past. He comes from way down the road. I knew who he was. He was one of the neighborhood boys, but he lives a good mile away. But you know who's who around here. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of these kids on drugs and everything. He was walking down the road. He had a backpack on. He looked just funky, and he kept going. Anyways, I found out they caught him about 2 miles up the road, and the law came up on him, and I don't know what he did, but they asked to search him, and when they went to search him, he had one of they call it they call it a 2-pot method. Anyways, he was making homemade meth in his bag, and he had the 2-liter bottles. I don't forget how they do it, but they make meth in a 2-liter bottle, and he was walking around with it on his back. and they called hazmat to his ass and made him. They hazmated him out there on the side of the road. That's the last I ever heard of that kid. I don't know what the hell happened to him. He was he was a mess. That mess tears. I tell you what, it tears you up. That's bad stuff. I've seen some crazy people like because the drugs is like people out in the country. A lot of the people they don't have any they don't got no money a lot of times, and they can't get good education, and they end up you know drunks or on drugs and or shit jobs, and so you got a lot of you get not it's not it's a small percentage, but they stand out. I guess it's uh, the way it is in the country. They stand out more than they do. You have the same thing in the city, but in the city you have more of everything. But when you got troubled people like that, they stand out here. This is the Parthenon in Nashville, because we need a Parthenon in Nashville, Tennessee, of all places. Got a Tartarian line here. That's weird right there. Looks like that should be up here. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Maybe not. I'm not sure what's going on there. This place looks like haggard. It looks like it's been beat to death. Look at that. What the hell is going on here? That's really kind of odd. I can't remember the history behind this thing. There's some kind of weird history. Look in the inside. Like a wad of wood inside the building that's piled up. Did you see that? Right in there? That's kind of strange. This building has a weird history. I forget what the history is, but it's a weird, strange history. Look at this crazy shit. This is Tennessee, y'all. Like what? I'm sorry, I've lived in Tennessee. Tennessee doesn't need this. I don't know who told Tennessee they needed this. Check this out. Mr. Winged Lion. What you got going on, Tartaria? What's going on, Tartaria? Ain't Tartarian in America. Ain't no Tartarian in America. No, there ain't. There ain't no definition. There's no Tartarian in America. That's retarded. Okay. Alrighty. Y'all do realize our history is totally fucked, right? Like that's come to y'all's attention that they have manipulated our history so much that we don't know our ass from our elbow. Like it is so completely erased and manipulated and rewritten and changed and altered and copied and pasted. Don't believe any history. Like it's basically anything before fuck 1900 or even 1943. I would even like, and like you could even make the excuse that they changed the history today. I mean, look what they're doing to Charlie Kirk. They're completely trying to erase what happened that day in real time. Like we don't know what's going on. This is the Reservoir Eden Park, Cincinnati. Our history is so not right. It our the archaeological finds that they are making across the world do not coincide with the historical records that we've been given. They don't in any way, shape, or form line up. And I don't know at what point do people take note and realize. It's interesting. This has a porthole right there that's blocked up. Makes you wonder, what if this wasn't water in here originally? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. But our history is just absolutely, what the hell's Göbekli Tepe? I mean, what's going on? There's a whole, the whole civilization off the coast of Cuba, underneath the water. I heard about once, ain't heard about since. It's like there's entire cities underneath the Mexican jungles. There's so much we have not found yet. It's it's mind-boggling. We don't know. What about that city off the coast of Japan, underneath the water? What's going on? I mean, like, we don't even know. Like, you got the Arctic, Arctic north, and the Antarctic south. Arc, like electrical arc. Got the North Arc and the South Arc. The two arcs of the Taurus field. Arctic and Antarctic. Interesting. Check out this smokestack. Portholes. Pretty big door there. And they built it into the side of this hill for some reason, which makes no sense. You got this tower up here on that. I think that's that tower we saw. Yeah, that's that tower we saw earlier. That's the top of it. What I was saying was, look like it'd be in Europe. You having fun, Kathy? Grand Canyon was Egypt. That's a. I was thinking about that just today. The whole Grand Canyon is Egypt thing. Okay, here's my gripe with this. Hold on a second. Let me get in gripe mode here. Okay, here's my gripe with the Grand Canyon is Egypt thing. To me, being halfway to elderly person, I consider Egypt. Okay, I consider the Grand Canyon a Grand Canyon. Is it possible? Yeah, that there's some evidence that there was Egyptian activity in the Grand Canyon. I believe that's possible. But to say Egypt is the Grand Canyon, well, then what the hell's Egypt? You follow? Why don't we say Egyptians were in the Grand Canyon? Why is that theory always prefaced by saying the Grand Canyon was Egypt? I'm genuinely asking the question. Why is it always said that way? What am I missing? Is there, why is it said that way? Why do we not say there's evidence that Egyptians were in the Grand Canyon? Why do we always say the Grand Canyon was Egypt? That's how I always hear that theory. And to be honest with you, every time I hear that theory or a video comes up that talks about that, and they preface the story, the theory by making that statement that Grand Canyon is Egypt, I turn it off at that point. That's the point that I turn around and go the other way, because to me that doesn't work. Egypt could have been everywhere. Okay, I could say it was like Tartarians could have been worldwide, just like the United States has a presence worldwide. Tartaria had a worldwide. Okay, yes, Egyptians could have been worldwide, but there's a big difference between saying Egyptians were worldwide and everywhere was Egypt. To me, Egypt is Egypt. That's a place. You go to Egypt. I don't go to the Grand Canyon and go, I'm going to Egypt. I'm going to go, hey, y'all, I'm going to take a hike. I'm going to take a vacation over to Egypt. Oh, yeah? Okay, how long is it going to take you? Oh, not very long. It's right, there in the Grand Canyon. Well, that's the Grand Canyon. No, no, I'm going to Egypt. No, no, it doesn't work for me. If anybody can explain where I'm getting confused there, because I'm not saying that there's not evidence that there was Egyptians in the Grand Canyon. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, why do people preface it by saying Egypt was the Grand Canyon or Grand Canyon was Egypt? That's my gripe. Okay, back to what we're doing. U.S. Marine Hospital, Mobile, Alabama. Alabama. Oh, look at these two little cuties just hanging out, guarding the fire hydrant there. They bricked up the sidewalk here, which is really high. I always find that interesting when they got such a high sidewalk. He looks like a sailor. That kind of looks Egyptian right there. Kind of got that flagpole. That's not original. They got their dirt roads for sure. Got Union Station, Nashville, Tennessee. They were just did a scene on the 911 Nashville television show. They did a scene in this. It's now a hotel, and I thought, wow, that's a cool old world building. Let me go check that out. And I didn't know where it was. I was like, I've never seen that one. Come to find out, I'd driven past that building 20, 30 times at least and never even noticed it. I'm like, man, I like when you're asleep, you really do have your head up your ass. Lady in uniform. Got their fencing and finial, cresting, arc lights. Fred's pulling him a load up the hill here. Trolley, another clone of Fred. Wind catcher, clocks are expensive at their finial. Wind catcher at their finial. Arched windows. There's Fred again. Yeah, this hotel is or this Union Station is the this is a viaduct right here that this is on, and the trains will come underneath the station here. Check out that wrought iron work there. That's very nice. What a beauty of a building. I love this style. What style you call it, but it's really cool. Might have been a clock there at one time, hard to say. Check out the statue up here for the finial. Hanging out with Mercury. Stained glass. Very nice. Wind catcher. Check out these windows. Very cool. That's a train shed. Vanderbilt University, Nashville, Tennessee. Mudflood Winters down here. Got a couple people hanging out right here reading. Got his butter hat on. Hold on a second. It's getting a little chilly. Wood stoves done down. It's not cold enough for not cold enough really for a wood stove, but I ran it a little bit. That wood stove can heat you up quick, so you got to be careful not to use it too much. When it's not cold enough, it'll burn you up, get too hot. After crusting and finial. After finials. Clock. Looks like 4 ones on the Roman numerals. For the Mandela effective folk. Just all this stuff's just already built. Like you're not seeing construction. Oh, here's our tower. Water Tower, Eden Park, Cincinnati, Ohio. After finial. After finial. After antenna with the eagle with the mercury ball. I wonder how many bricks it took to build this thing. Straight out of Europe. Checkerboard. At their antenna. At their finial. Water tower. Oh, damn. There's that damn place again. Ypsilanti, Lahuda, Mahanama, Akuna Matata-ville, Michigan. Where the hell that is. Who the hell's making up these names? Lady in uniform. That's interesting. Person right there. They're just moving too fast. Whew, man. Look at that stonework. There's a porthole in there. Look at these stairs. How weird. Look at that. Like, how in the hell do you, like, oh man, can you imagine being the roofer on that thing? Come on. No, 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 no. Wind catcher. Porthole. Another porthole. Looks like these have some design on them. Hard to tell what it is. They might be laurel leaf control. Wellesley Lake, Asbury Park. These are cool little boats. Smoking him a joint, I guess, or he's picking his nose, or not sure what's going on there. Anyways, we got you on camera, buddy. Got little lights hanging off there. Nice little bow tie on that fella. I like her hair. Out on a date here. These big doors. At their finial. Check out this Ferris wheel here. Observation deck on top of the Ferris wheel, which is odd. How do you get up there? I don't know. Huh. I don't see stairs. Wind catcher. Still a neat little place here. Windsor Hotel in Royal Street, Mobile, Alabama. what that is right there. That's kind of weird. There's Fred, trolley. Some nice wrought iron work there. Arc light. Look at these ether finials here. Pretty cool. Those could be mules. Look like mules. I don't think they're donkeys though. Ironwork there. Cast iron fences here. Ether cresting there. Torus fields. Little ether antenna there. Windsor. Little wrought iron. This is weird. These look like they've changed. These bottoms here to these columns, they look like they've added those, I would say. Diamond symbologies. We got YMCA Mobile, Alabama. Lock in. Boom. Okay. Got Mudflood winders, little arches winders. $18.97. Young men's. I think there are so many YMCA's and WMCA's. Was it or WMC the women's version? No, YWCA. Yeah, there's so many of those things. I think that they needed to come up with a designation for some buildings, and so they use that as they could cover a lot of buildings with those two designations, and also I suspect that these organizations had something to do with the cover up, because of the services they provided to people, usually that they would come into town and they would like need a way to kind of get started. I think it was a kind of a program in a way for people that were, not the everyday laborers as much as the kind of the middlemen kind of things, and they needed kind of like a way to get started in a new city. I don't know. I just had this feeling that there's something strange about these buildings and the groups. Mudflood drop in there that they I think they had something to do with the Freemasons and the Oddfellows and all those groups, that it was part of those organizations in some way. Torus fields. This is just my thinking. I'm thinking out loud here. Torus fields, beautiful awnings, one up, one down. Gotta love them. But some of these Y buildings are just phenomenal. They're just. I mean, that's a nice. I mean, this isn't one of the more elaborate ones that I've seen, but that's a nice building. There's nothing, like for what a Y is. Like, why does it need to be so nice? It just doesn't. It just stands out that something's not right there. Your call, Yale College. Lock in, boom. Okay. Got Mudflood winners here and here. Taurus fields. I guess that's a double Taurus field. Tartarian lions. It's the acanthus also, by the way. That's interesting. You got a Y. That's interesting. Interesting. This I don't know. I'm thinking magnetics for some reason. Look at that unscrubbed cartouche. Look at the the flowers around that. That's wow. I mean, seriously, look at that. Look at that gutter right there. Like, what in the world? There's some fancy stuff going on here. There's another one of them gutter pieces. These little windows. Oh, man. Like, for real, though. As Besquate would say, boom, for real. Sorry. Golly, that is just, it's just something else. I just don't even know what to say there. Just the quality of that structure. More mudflood winters down here. Mudflood winters down there. Just incredible. I wonder if that building's still there. Look at that. It's just incredible. Little mudflood winter down here too. There's a coal hole cover right there. So it means there's a coal room down underneath there. Very good stuff. Very, very good stuff. And that is all the pictures we have for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Something that's been going around on the YouTube this week. Talking about the Charlie Kirk investigation a little bit. This isn't my area expertise, but I thought I'd add my 2 cents because people have been asking me about it, and I do have some insights and opinions on this that you may or may not care to hear. But thought I'd just lay them out. I don't feel like getting into a whole video on this or anything. But this electrocution theory that's been going around this past week. Just to give my 2 cents on this and kind of where I'm at in my thinking on that. A microphone can easily shock the shit out of you. This is a fact. People have been killed via microphones that weren't grounded. They got electrocuted and it killed them. But here's my trouble with this microphone electrocution theory. When I was in my 20s, I partied a lot, and I mean a lot. By a lot, I mean you have no idea how much partying can be done until you realize how much partying I did at that time. We threw massive parties, absolutely massive, and so we had this one party one night, and I don't even remember like how it happened or anything, but we ended up getting in a major water fight. And, it was super soakers and whole buckets of water. And I mean, there was water flying everywhere. Everybody's pissed drunk. And it was absolute full on water balloon, everything, anything that can hold water held water and got thrown at you. And it was just full on water. This is in the house. Needless to say, it cost me a pretty penny to get out of that place. But the floor was soaked absolutely. When you stepped on the floor, on the carpet, the water just came up. Like, it was absolutely soaked. And somebody knocked over a lamp. And I bent over to pick the lamp up. And when I did, I grabbed it by you got the bulb here, and then the socket, it was one of them old lamps that had the lampshade that went over it with the two prongs that went down into the little things on the side of the fixture. And the lampshade had got knocked off, but the lamp was tilted over onto the ground. And when I bent over to pick it up, I grabbed it by the fixture where the light bulb would attach into where the light bulb screws in. I grabbed it at that point. It was still plugged in. I was in bare feet and I was standing in water, and it lit me up. And the closest thing I can describe it to you is it was like being one of those old cartoons where the cartoon gets shocked and you see the skeleton of the cartoon. That's what it felt like. It locked on to me, and I couldn't move. I could see, there was probably 20 people in the room around me. I could see them moving. I don't remember if I could hear them talking, but if I could, it was all muffled. And it was like almost like everything was going. It was like I felt like that movie where the girl's like that's watching the world go by. It's like real fast. It's like, I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I could not let go, and I don't know how long I was holding on to it, but it was a pretty penny, and it locked onto me, and that juice was surging through me. And the only reason I got out of it, and how nobody else got shocked, I to this day don't know. But my neighbor, I had my next door, there was three guys, and one of them's name was Brian, and Brian was the size of a Mack truck, and he weighed in excess of 400, 500 pounds. He was a very fat guy, very, very fat. He was an orderly at the insane hospital, which was an old world building. He was an orderly. And but anyways, he was a very, very fat guy, and he was walking. I was in the hallway, and he walked through, and when he walked through, he bumped into me, not trying to be mean. He couldn't get through, and I was standing there, and he just kind of moved past me, but it was enough to knock the lamp out of my hand, and that's what saved me. If he hadn't have knocked that lamp out of my hand, there's no question I'd have not made it, because it literally hung on to me, and I was completely helpless. So my point here is that I have personal experience with getting the shit shocked out of me, and it is very difficult to tell how much electricity it's going to take to kill a person. Or another thing is, like, when we go to put people in the electric chair, there's been people that have survived the electric chair. And there's a lot of people that get electrocuted. There's people that get struck by lightning and they live. My point is, electricity very well can kill you. It can easily kill you. But that being said, it can also not kill you. My point is, it's unreliable. So for a professional, assassination team to use electrocution as their execution method, to me, does not ring true. It's unreliable. And when you're in a situation like that, you want a reliable form of technology that's going to do the taking out of this, the person you're trying to take out. That being said, um, it is possible, I think, that they used the microphone to send him a low voltage shock, which is kind of like if you've ever touched an electric fence, um, it won't kill you. Um, you'll know you did it, and it'll certainly make you jump. But it's possible in my mind's eye that they could have used an electric shock to give him that initial okay, because it, even if you know it's coming, it's still gonna get you, because it's gonna, you can't help but jump. If you got to imagine you got a microphone in your hand and somebody sends a shock through that thing, it you know it, you're gonna jump backwards, and it's gonna give you that body motion. I think it's possible they use that to give the effect of him being hit with a 30-06. Um, I don't think I really at this point don't think that there was another one, a 30-06, but I don't think there was a shot, an actual bullet that went at Charlie. I think that it's very possible that they created a situation. This is what I'm thinking, y'all. Okay, and this, crazy as it may sound, this is kind of where I'm thinking what they did. I think that uh, for whatever reason, I think Charlie's in on it. I think he. I don't think he. I don't think he's gone. Okay, this could change later, but right now I don't think he's gone. I think that they hit him with a shock to give him that initial jolt. I think they had something rigged up under his shirt. I'm undetermined whether it was his necklace or whether it was something else. I do know that something, and I'm not determined. It was not an earpiece. I'm not so sure it was the necklace as a lot of people have speculated, but something shot out of his shirt within 1 second of him being shot, and it shot 3 feet out and then swung down and hit him in the ass and then swung back. And it looks more like a white cable than it does his silver chain to me. So I think what they did right now is that they created the initial shock of him jumping backwards, and he fell to the ground. I believe his team applied moulage for transport. So when they walked him away, it looked like they sprayed him with something. I don't think that there would right now. I know this might sound crazy, but that's okay. I don't think that people saw blood. I don't think people saw a gunshot wound. I don't think they saw that. I think what they did, you got to understand, you got, say, 3,000 people in this environment. You can automatically take a good 75% of those people easily that were not in a position to see what happened because of the angle, because of people being in front of them, because of them being too far away, because they were on the wrong side. You can take out 75% of the people there that day easy. Then you can take out a large percentage of the portion that's left and say that they didn't see anything because they, even though they were in a position that they could have seen something, they weren't paying attention. Okay. They just weren't looking at that specific spot at that specific time. A lot of people have bad eyesight. I don't think that it was very possible to see very much unless you were in that right outside on that outer perimeter on his, to his left. His basically from his front 100, halfway around to his back. I think, and he maybe not even all the way to his back. I think that was, and within, a very short distance, I think would be the only area where you could really, in that few seconds, see what happened. Number one. Number two, it's very easy for them to have stage crisis actors in that area because they could have easily filled that area with people, that with their people, very easily. Another thing they could have done is, I think what they did was they had cameras positioned in certain places. If you notice, there's if you look around in the crowd prior to the shot, there's cameras everywhere. But then we only have a few, very few videos of the actual shot. Then you have the one video that we all have all seen, the very horrific, right smack down the middle shot of seeing him get, fully, hit, where you see the blood spray, right? Here's the thing. If you analyze that video, slow it down and go frame by frame, the bullet hole, you see the bullet hole, and the bullet hole jumps on his neck. Okay? It goes from here to here to here. Okay? It moves frame by frame. Okay? That's first thing. That tells me that that's a mask. That's a video mask. What they do is they have, a little red dot on a mask that's transparent behind it, and they overlay it onto the video. Then the blood spray could have been another mask, okay, that they have prepared. So here's what would have happened. If you've got a guy standing there live streaming to that, they had the cell phones weren't working that day, right? Well, what if you're controlling that environment, the antennas, the cell phone antennas, right? But you allow your camera, your antennas to go out, okay, for your cell phone. So you're recording this. You are uploading that, you're live streaming that to someone. They immediately take that video, throw it in a computer. You already have the mask loaded. So all you got to do is add the video that you just shot of Charlie flying back, okay? And you add the two masks onto the video, you render the video, and you upload the video to social media. You can do this within minutes. This video didn't come out, it came out very soon, but there was enough time for someone to do what I just said. I promise you, I could do this with the limited technology that I have. And then, because it's uploaded, right, to the social media very quickly, then immediately that video starts going viral, and people start going, what happened? What happened? Let me see if somebody got it. And they look online, oh my God, somebody's got it. Look right here. There's blood squirting out of his neck. And then you have your crisis actors, and they go in this thing. Yeah, I saw him. He got shot in the neck. Blood's pouring out everywhere. Okay, immediately signifying that. And then, that person tells one person, that person, and then they tell 10 other people. And it's just like daisy chains outwards. And it doesn't take you any time. Nobody's seen shit. And it's a lot easier than you think. You think these things will be hard to do, but they're really not. because people are very easily fooled. And then all you got to do is get Charlie Kirk out of there. Don't give him any medical assistance. Pick his ass up, carry him to the SUV, throw him in there. You take him to not the closest hospital, not to the level, trauma level, 3 hospital. You take him to the trauma level 2 hospital. You take him. You don't take him to the better hospital. You take him to a different hospital, and you've already set it up with the people there. And it's very easy. These things are very easily done. It's very, very possible this is how it's done. Now, proving that's a different story, But this is where I'm at right now on this. This is kind of where my thinking is on this. And I believe that's also why there would be no need for the EMTs to help, because there was nothing to help. They certainly didn't want the EMTs in the SUV seeing that it was all bullshit. So that's about that. How's everybody doing? 6R, how you doing? What's going on, Mr. Morgan? Merry Christmas. Odin's Ravens hanging out with us. Kathy Brock's hanging out with us. Ha Ha's hanging out with us. Let's see. Streets is hanging out with us. Everybody got the Christmas already? I got the Beagle's Christmas somewhere around here. He's just hidden. Gotta hide these things. You know how it goes. Let's see here. Let me get this thing going up. Now, I don't know, y'all might have some different, I'm sure y'all do have a different opinions, which is fine. I'm kind of giving you where I'm at, and I'm not saying I'm 100%. I'm just saying that's where I'm at on this. And I will be doing a long form, major live stream on the Charlie Kirk EMTs, and I'm going to share everything I have, including the EMTs information, everything. I'm going to show every video, every picture, every documentation, everything I got. I'm going to lay it completely out. I'm going to lay out so much. I mean, okay, first off, all the news resources that are picking up this story so far are actually using my research, because I'm the only one that's done it. And so they're picking up from me, not realizing that it's from me. It's all from me. And then, but I'm going to make it so you can't touch this story unless you physically go boots on the ground and go, turning over rocks. You're not going to be able to do this story without me. I'm not looking for the credit of the story. I want the story out there. But right now, I am the GOAT on this story. There's no question. It's documented. There was the Times of Entertainment Times of India ran an article on the internet the other day, and they claimed that Candace Owens exposed this, and Candace Owens did not expose this. Candace Owens hasn't even realized that the EMTs were there yet. It was me that exposed this, and they were showing my work. But they were showing one of the videos that Candace showed of the Terrell Farnsworth's video, which shows the EMT. So they were showing what she showed, which is just one portion of what I've shown. And I showed that the EMTs were in the video. She did not. She was pointing out that he was filming Charlie, and I'm pointing out that the EMTs are standing right there beside the SUV. She has not realized that yet. But we will see. And yes, Streets, you're right. Candace quite more than likely is controlled opposition. However, she is the biggest mouthpiece in the land right now, and if I can get that story to her, then it will get the story. That's as high as this story can go in the, let's call it the alternative media, which is about, that's about the most alternative that we have right now, which is not good, but it is what it is. The mainstream is not going to pick this up. They don't pick up anything that has, truth to it. But if I can get Candace to show it, then that's going to be about the extent of the audience that I think I can get it to. But yes, I do agree that she's probably, her and Eric are probably good friends. I don't see that not being the case, but I think everybody's sus here. The whole kit and caboodle of these people. I do not feel that the EMTs are sus. I do think they did try to do the right thing that day, and I do not think that they were involved in a shady way. But I think damn near everybody else is. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, the whole thing with the I don't know, a lot of her stuff I'm not even listening to. It's not even interesting to what I'm doing with that. I just want to get this story out. I'm about tired of it because I've been fighting it behind the scenes, trying to get people to listen to it. But it's very difficult to get heard. You're interested in the see if the first lady has a eggplant. Are we talking about Michelle? We know she has an eggplant. It has an eggplant. I mean, oh, Big Mike, we're pretty sure what's going on there. But I don't know about Melania. I don't, everybody's sus at this point. I don't try, I just don't. I don't trust anybody like that. I don't any of those guys. I don't know. That's just me. Street saying he thinks Charlie's alive. I think it's quite possible that Charlie is alive. I sure do. Now I don't know how involved Charlie was. I don't know if Charlie was involved in a good way or a bad way. But a TPUSA, I'll tell you what, that organization is bad stuff. I don't know if y'all saw that they had the murder tent up there. They were letting people take pictures under the Charlie Kirk murder tent. I mean, what is wrong with them? Of course, you got that dumbass Miss Mickey Minaj going and calling JD Vance the assassin right to Erica Kirk's face. I mean, she's either A, the dumbest person in the world, or B, hush, that was completely staged for who knows what reason. But yeah, Erica Kirk, she's dirty as, I don't know, a pair of bad underwear. I mean, she's a pair of raunchy underwear. That's a nasty person. That will be for sure. Hey, now hush. Oh, Bill Hicks. I love Bill Hicks. And no, I do not believe that Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. A lot of you still believe that. I don't know how y'all believe that, but Nicki Minaj is a goon. That is a weird person. I'll tell you what. What do y'all think about this? What's his name? Rob Reiner. Is that his name? And his son with the schizophrenia and the meth. That's a good combination. Good grief. Hey, what, you want a biscuit? Here, you want a biscuit? I'll give you a biscuit. Who wants a biscuit? Biscuit. You gotta come see. There you go. Everybody wants to see. All right, here we go. Yeah, Bud has something to say all the time. He's a smart ass. That's his problem. I'm kind of taking it easy. I think this week on the farm, don't have any big projects this week, so it's kind of a breather week, I think. Of course, that's probably famous last words. The street says I don't think Melania is a dude. I don't know. Well, I mean, wait a minute. I really don't know. I haven't looked into it. Uh, do I would take Caleb. I would take your word on that more than I would take anybody else's word. Um, I imagine that you know if that's true or not. I definitely Big Mike. I mean, that thing is packing heat. That's all I'm saying. Uh, whew. Yeah, Bridget Marcone's a man. Absolutely. That thing is definitely a very old man. I can't, that whole thing is just creepy. That whole business, very creepy stuff. You only type with one finger. I actually type with two hands. I took a typing class in high school, and that was a good class to take. And we actually did it on typewriters back in the day. We were old school. Like I said, I'm feral. What can I say? Da da da. Do y'all have any more questions? Runners on the Epstein list. I just the Epstein list. I mean, come on. Like, do you really think they're gonna sell themselves down the road? Hush, honey. I'm on my nerves. I just don't ever think we're gonna see this Epstein list. Why would they sell themselves down the road? I mean, they're not gonna give themselves up. I don't think anything's ever going to stop these people in power until we take the pitchforks and the tar and the feathers and string them up. I don't think that's anything that's going to stop them other than that. And I think we have to do it. I don't think there's anybody come to save us. I don't think there's a Q that's going to save us. I don't think there's any of that shit. I don't think there's anything that's coming to help us, get out of this mess but us. But the problem is that most of us ain't willing to, I got my spear. Y'all know I got a spear. I mean, I'm ready to go. Let's go. I got a spear. Let's go. What do you need your spear? It's a spear. I mean, you can spear things. Just ain't nobody gonna mess with spear. Bop, 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 bop. What tunnels are you talking about? What tunnels? Who's talking about tunnels? What tunnels? Which tunnels? Tunnels. Da, 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 da. Where I'm trying to look. Kathy's talking about tunnels. I don't know. I don't see it. Haha's got a baseball bat. There you go. I probably got, I don't know, I probably got 8 or 10 baseball bats. It'll knock you. Cloning the next Cabbage Patch. I don't know what's up with a Cabbage Patch. I don't know. That's some weird stuff. Cabbage Patch. I don't know. They did some weird stuff back in the day. Very strange times back then. Hush. Tunnels under the White House. Zip line with spear in your hands. Yes, yeah. The zip line with a spear in my hand. I ain't getting on that damn zip line. I'm scared. I'm scared to death I'm gonna break that thing. Because everybody it's designed for smaller. We set it up, the gears and stuff, to work with smaller people, like lighter people. And hush, good grief, nobody cares. We set it up for lighter weight people so that the returns would work properly, but I don't think it would return with me. NPCs are from the Cabbage Patch. I think our world is full of NPCs at this point. I tell you what, it really explains a lot. A lot of people that I have to deal with, how they just completely are numb. Um, I remember one time I don't remember exactly what happened, but I went to like a Dollar General or General Dollar, whatever the hell it's called, one time, and I was getting something small like um socks or something small. It was just, and there was this lady, the girl at the cash register, was this black lady, and she was playing this song, and it was like a remake of an 80s song. And I remember like asking her, I said, is that such and such a song? And she just looked at me like not, she didn't say a word, she just looked at me like that, gave me that Gen Z stare, but she wasn't Gen Z. And then there was this white lady behind me, and I turned around and I said, "Do you remember that song?" Because she looked more like my age, and she just stared at me, and I'm thinking like, and it was just like I was, and then I realized there was like 6 or 7 people behind her waiting in line, and they were all just staring at me like it was like they had no idea what I was saying. They had no idea why I was saying it. They just, it was like I had literally just stumped the NPCs, and they froze, and they were doing that thing, that the NPCs do on the video games when they don't know what to do. And I don't know. I've had that happen several times. Have y'all been seeing these weird things in the night sky where it looks like kind of like shooting stars, but it's like big white lights, and they just fly across the sky, and they're huge. They look very close. I don't think they're shooting stars. Like I've seen shooting stars where it's like dee, like a little thing. These are like major white bright lights. I've been seeing those quite often lately. Pretty weird stuff. You're awake when see Kansas and NPC. I swear, y'all, I ain't even joking about this. I may be losing my shit, but I was watching Candace the other day, and I normally don't watch her. I normally put her on 2 times speed and listen. Like I'm not even watching her. I'm just listening to see if she touches on anything important, and I blast through it, get it over with, move on, right? And I do that with everything. It's like she's not special, but for some reason I didn't have it in, I had it in normal, and um I looked up, and I was looking at her, and I swear, man, for a split second I could have swore I was watching AI, that she wasn't real, that she was AI. And I backed it up, and I didn't see it again, but that for that split second it was like it really looked like I was watching that she was AI. It was really weird. I don't know. Yeah, school books. Yeah, that's a good rabbit hole. They really have controlled the school books. Um, you do not get, they teach you very carefully what they want you to know. It's like, you go to college and you got to buy all new books. Why is that? It's because they're constantly changing those books. It's like the books are like a matrix code, and they're like constantly upgrading it. That's why a lot of times you have to buy the new books in college. You almost rarely can you buy the older version of the books. And even those older versions don't even last that long. Not that the books don't last. The books are made of concrete, but they really change that information and keep it, updated on what they want you to know. They sure do. NPCs don't make any sense. Okay. All righty. Any more questions, young ladies and young lads? You're going to be a school teacher. Star testing, yeah. You know, every person learns differently. And that's the problem with education, is that they try to, send you through the meat grinder and try to conform your mind to think in a certain way. And so many people, they can't do that. And I couldn't do that. My mind just did not function that way. I was a lot smarter when I was in school than they would have led you to believe. I didn't have good grades. And it just was, I got pushed through the system because the teachers realized that I knew the information. And so that's how I got through. But I certainly didn't have good grades. And it's because they bored the shit out of me. It was so boring. They didn't know how to teach anything. I went to a gifted and talented school for 2 years in 4th and 5th grade, and I learned more in those 2 years than all the education that I got other than that. Those 2 years were phenomenal. And why they don't make schools more like that, I'll never know. That was a really good 2 years. But the school I had before that and after that, all was bullshit. Yes. The GATE program. Yeah, I mean, we were all in the GATE program. They want you to they want to weed these tests are designed to keep you to get you to conform to the way they want you to think the way they don't want to teach you to think for yourself. They want to teach you to think the way they want you to think. And that's why they have these standardized tests, to get people all to be on the same page. And if you don't conform, then they instill in you that you're going to be nothing and a dropout and a loser, and you're never going to go anywhere in life. And then people believe that couldn't do well in school, and then they end up, getting shit jobs and becoming drunks. It's all by design, and that's what happened to me, is that, they couldn't teach worth a damn, and they weren't interesting me in school. And so I just went into, work, and that's just that's kind of, but I was a lot smarter than they were, putting me, up to. And it just it took me a long time to get over that and realize that if I was going to be, my potential, that I had to do it myself. And then that's what I did. And that happens to everybody. You either conform and you go on and you go to their little, colleges, and, you get their stamp of approval, and then that you get in there and you get a job, and you go 9 to 5, and you do what, you do what you're told. And, they'll give you a nice salary, and you can go and you can buy you a get you a nice mortgage and then be a slave debt for the rest of your life. And if you decide to get out of line and not toe the party line, then you will be put in debt, and you just got to toe the party line or you're screwed. Yes, doctors are glorified drug dealers. We're gonna stop that. We're gonna end the medical tyranny. We have the best emergency management or emergency medicine in the world here in America, but unless you cut your arm off, okay, and need it sewn back, like we need holistic medicines. We need holistic. They're we're gonna be getting rid of the medical profession of that sort. This we're gonna get rid of. You wait, y'all. When it happens, it's going to be great because we're really going to people are really going to start getting healed. We're going to get off these damn medications. We're going to get rid of this insurance crap that we're dealing with. Insurance is bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Let's see. Please share the meme. Gates. They took funding away from the less financially successful schools as punishment. Then they got worse. And they would close them. Yep. They sure did. They did this crazy thing here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm not going to explain this very well, but this was after I was out of school, and I don't know if they still do this. I think they quit doing it, but for a while, for a good 10 years, it used to, you went to the closest school to where you lived. Okay. But then they came up, they decided that, I don't know who they is, but they decided that a person in a poverty area needed the same opportunities as a child that comes from a wealthy neighborhood. And so what they did was they came up with this cracked out bus program where they were literally shipping kids. They randomly chose the school you went to. It was like they drew names out of a hat. You go here, you go there, you go here, you go there, you go here, you go there. And then they sent buses all around the freaking county, picking up children and then taking them all the way around the county for school. Insanity. Just so a poor person can go to what would be considered a wealthier person's school, and a wealthier person would then have to go to a poorer person's school to keep it equal, for equality. Now, in a way, that sounds like a beautiful world, but do you have any idea, like, the logistics and the stupidity of trying to bus children all around the county? We don't live in a small county. It's a big freaking county. There's a lot of schools. You'd have children going to schools that were an hour away. So that how many hours a day were they losing just getting to and from school? Then you don't have any because you go home, you don't have any association with those kids on the other end of town after school. It was just totally cracked out. Like, what are you people thinking? I don't even know what they called that program. It was one of the dumbest things I ever saw. I think now they're doing the thing where they've got some of the schools or all the schools, Some schools, it's like on and off again. They're like, some schools are on, going to school, and others are off. And they're like, and I think they're doing that because they're trying to save on the buses or so. We've gone insane. I think our society has gone absolutely insane. It's unbelievable. We all missed you, hippie. Hope you have a good Christmas coming up. She's probably getting presents ready, wrapping presents as Santa Claus else do. We're just talking childhood friends and tons of money. Cheap folks didn't send their kids to private schools with good schooling. Their kids turned out horrible. And yeah, that's a good point. There, um, private schools. I'm sorry, but you're getting a whole different education than the people in the public schools. You want an education in public schools, you got to fight for it. You got to really fight for it because they're certainly not providing it. You're going to have to provide it for yourself. Like if people make it through there with an actual high GPA, I mean, you got to respect that. Even though they're indoctrinated and they're only learning what they're told, it's still hard to get to that point, even in those conditions. But in private schools, it's a whole different monkey. You're there to learn, and you're gonna learn. They're gonna beat you. I don't. Hmm. Yeah, insurance is bullshit. College prices are bullshit. These prices are bullshit. Insurance, I don't know how many times I've heard people, they've got insurance and then they get these major medical bills and they get dropped by insurance or insurance decides they're not going to pay for it or the insurance finds something wrong on their forms and they lose out on their insurance and they don't get to pay for it and it's like insurance is bullshit. It is bullshit. I think you should just pay out of pocket and um go that route. I mean, it's like, well, but, I need a $400,000 heart surgery or whatever. Okay, well, I understand that having insurance would be good for that, but here's the thing: there's no guarantee that that insurance is going to pay for that. Like they will bend over backwards not to pay for you. They will find if they can find a way. Oh well, he smoked too much. He drank too much. He had a history of heart problems. He didn't fill out this thing on the form right. They'll come up with they'll delay until you die. I mean, they are horrible people. Insurance company they should be banned. They should be made illegal, in my opinion. It's bullshit. Yes, it is. Up, 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 up. Fight to get you to better school. Rockefellers, they're definitely top tier assholes. I don't know why. I really don't know why somebody over time hasn't taken that whole family out. Like people have known their assholes for a very long time. It's amazing to me nobody's taken them out. It's very strange how these people just walk through our world and get away with it. I mean, look at Bill and Hillary Clinton. The body, the bodies they had, the body trail they have laying behind them. I mean, how in the world are those people not behind bars? How is it possible? I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. Unbelievable. Everybody's talking about hippie in here. Hippie's top flight. Let's see. Internet queen. Clinton body count. Yep. Yeah. Very possible. I would not argue that. I would not argue that. Yes. I mean, yes. Yep. Obama body count too. Yep. They got a little body count going. That's for sure. That is for sure. All right, folks. I think we come to about the end of the questions here. And I need to get on and get me some rest. Get ready for a little bit of work this week, and we will be back on Christmas on the 25th. I don't know what time. It'll be later in the day. And the plan, yeah, don't make food for Barack. The plan for Christmas will be for you guys to bring the we're going to do a covered dish supper. Okay, so basically y'all come with ideas of maybe something you'd like to do or look at, and we're just gonna have a kind of a Christmas fireside chat, and you can ask questions, we can talk, we can chat, we can hang out, we can look at some things if you want, and there's no real purpose to it other than to give you something to do, other than to talk to your family at the dinner table at Christmas about nothing, because that's just no fun. So we'll see you soon. Love, Biggs.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma. Don't you get it?
Say woof again! Say woof again!
I've got one that can see.
Welcome to the underground.
This is my kung fu, and it is strong.
See you later.